For StarTale, for Kerrigan in the Swarm to the top right of Whirlwind, the second player for the StarTale team. It is
StarTale, Curious.
Curious with a 70% win ratio in this matchup. He's 12-5 in maps.
Sponsored by Fruit Salad.
Yeah. And starting to the bottom right is his opponent. After taking down a Protoss player, this guy now has to face a Zerg. It is, of course,
FXOSC.
FXOSC, and he made sure that Choya did not regret putting him out against Panic. On Fruitland, Panic overextending himself a little bit twice, and SC, beautiful fashion, definitely taking advantage of that, running with his advantage, running with the map control, getting the lemons on the map 3 times in total, 1,500 mineral advantage that he had over his opponent. Great control during the fights as well. We had amazing storms by his opponent, but every single time SC was just able to get another army into the picture. Great concaves for him, and he made this game happen. Team match is currently tied, and Curious, he's the one that StarTale is now relying upon.
Curious rocking the pretty chill APM here, oftentimes dropping down to 40, 50, so he's actually one of those guys who can kind of relax in the early game and not really spam it. As you can see, he does jump up a few times here, but this is the first time I'm actually using the new UI on my screen, so I don't have the observing PC today.
I'm actually pretty sure that they changed it. I don't think that was in there the last few times.
Okay, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I can just stare at the APM the whole time.
Yeah, for a Korean player, Curious APM definitely a little bit more chilled out. He's no goody, he's no Elfie, but for a Korean, this is him just taking it really easy.
Yeah, doesn't want to wear himself out too much. I mean, he's not a very excitable player. He takes people out left and right. That's what he does. He's good at it.
Yeah, he definitely is. And what SC is, of course, good at right now is scouting, since he went straight for not only a Reaper build, but he also got the lucky scout with the SUV to the top right. He did scout counterclockwise here. And a lot of players will actually always just go clockwise, and in this particular situation it works out for FSC really well. If he goes bottom left first, then he will scout Curious so late that it's definitely gonna influence his opening also a little bit. But right now we just have him going straight into a command center, since he spotted that there is already a hatch building at his opponent's main.
Look at that Reaper, so sly, getting up there. And now he's gonna come in here and pick off a drone, probably? Nope. Nice control here by Curious. And this drone sneaking down here, gonna maybe get away. He may actually have to make a spore. For some reason we didn't get to see if he died or not. It's a mystery.
The Queen's out, and Curious. You know, I actually think he might have been able to take down the Reaper if he would have tried to cut off the retreat path at when the Reaper was on creep. That was an option that he had, but he just like right-clicked it, and the Reaper gets away. But it doesn't really come into play too much. We have the double Queen out there already. That gives Curious the safety that he wants. There's no kill just yet. The double Queen already at the front. 2 more are being built. And still, we have 4 Queens, but we still have the double gas.
Yeah, and he saw the gas, at least one of them, with his Reapers, so a quick show here, but it doesn't mean that SC can really gain any sort of feel from this. Just he's going to have to scout further, because just seeing gas alone doesn't tell you a ton. He's going to maybe play a little bit safer than he would have otherwise, though. And actually, he's going for a quick armor here, so we're going to see some fast Hellbats.
And I'm really interested what exactly Curious is going to do here, because usually when you go for the 4 Queens, you try to just cut on gas a little bit. If he wants to go into the faster tech here, that would be quite interesting. Then he can rely on the Queens for the defense at the beginning. Will most likely even get an armory, but he's going for that 3rd base.
Yeah,
he's trying to, but no way.
No way. SC is on top of it. Drone is dead, and the Reapers get away, even killing another Zergling. It's so hard to actually get away with that, but sometimes you can catch the Reapers off guard and sneak that drone. If the hatchery starts, then you're fine, because the Reaper's never going to kill the hatch.
And what Curious does right away is going into 12 drones. That's exactly the minerals that he wanted to invest into the 3rd hatch. Now he's going to take it towards the right side of the map, which is going to be a little problematic for him. This is not the base that he wants to take, because it's straight towards his opponent, and that's kind of what he wants to avoid here. Especially when we have drops coming into play, there is always the opportunity for ST to just bounce between the bases, and he can do that right now. So, not really the situation that Curious wants to go for, but it's the situation that he's forcing to.
Yeah, and I mean, I like it, even though it's not an ideal situation for him. I think it's one of the best things he can do. This spot here on the Overlord pretty much tells him everything. If there were no Hellbats coming, there would have been a tech lab on that Varix, 100%. So now he starts Spores and Spines, because he knows, okay, I didn't see any Hellbats, but I know what you're up to here. getting Overlord speed as well, just to make sure he can get a good spread, a good scout of what's coming in.
And now the attempt to get another base up is already spotted, but with the creep spread that we currently have for Curious, he should be able to get his queens over there in time to just defend. Keep in mind that we have the Overlord skill also completing just a second from now, so in this situation he has the scouts on the map, he should be able to spot incoming drops immediately. But he doesn't have a whole lot of units. Couple of Zerglings that he just now built. They have speed, but here come those two Medivacs. And the Lings are coming in, but they have to be careful trying to catch those units. The first Medivac is already down. He's taking down the Hellbats here.
He's taking down the Hellbats. A lot of Lings going down, but I think this is a much better trade for Curious so far. But he loses the second Queen. And that makes it a little bit questionable.
He tried to take down the second Medivac as well. If he actually took down the second Medivac, the Lynx would have cleaned up everything on the ground. He saves his base on the other hand, gets the scouting information. They are still on the same amount of harvesters though, and that is becoming a little bit of a problem. Curious needs to get the edge in the worker count.
Yeah, he spent a lot of his larva on those Zerglings to defend against the drops that he knew were coming. At least the drops didn't do a ton of damage to him. You know, he killed the Hellbats. This is not good though. No. This is going to be a terrible trade for him.
If you don't have any anti-air, there are no queens, you just simply cannot attack into those Hellbats because you won't achieve anything. They will just be picked up and move away, will be healed, and with the drop micro that the Terran player here has, he can just make sure that he kills a couple of Zerglings and doesn't take any losses whatsoever.
Yeah. So, that was not the best trade there for Curious, and like you said, I'm really starting to be concerned about the Harvester count. He's up 8 now, which is better than he was before, but these drops are getting really, really scary here, and he doesn't have, you know, Lair Tech finished yet. He doesn't have any roaches, so it's going to be just Lings and Queens he can rely on, and he only has 4 Queens right now.
Yeah, it's going up to 55 now, so he's getting them. One of the Medivacs is nearly down, but now we have those Hellbats moving in, and one Spinecrawler is definitely not going to be enough to stop those bad boys. We have 20 additional Zerglings coming. He's trying to save his gas here. He's at 600 gas, and for good reason, but the problem is that Lings alone are just not going to cut it in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely not. Nice targets on the Medivacs, gets 2 of them down, so there's only 1 left. But still, he can't fight the Hellbats with Zerglings alone. He's trying to make a few Banelings here.
Well, that third is really endangered right now. He needs to get those Banelings in, and now he gets them. He's taking down most of the Hellbats right now. Only 1 Medivac survives, but that hatch was actually like really low on HP and still is 400. That's not a lot. If there are a couple of Marauders being dropped or just stimming in, you're going to lose that.
Exactly, and I think that's probably the next step. And you talked about it from the beginning. With the proximity of this hatchery to the main base, it's easy for him to just send Medivacs back and forth, pick up some more Marauders and send them over, snipe the hatchery, run away. Little techniques like this, pick off a few Zerglings. He's really abusing the fact that the Mutalisks are so late here.
And the Mutalisks soon coming into play. Well, not really that soon, since the Spire just has been started. And that's the time where Curious just has to hold on. What gives him a bit of an edge is the upgrade lead that he has. The 1-1 for the Zerglings definitely going to be really important. But this, what you currently see on the screen, is exactly what Zerg players oftentimes really struggle against if they don't have extra anti-air. The drop abilities of the Terran players. And we have that being used by SC to a brilliant extent because he already identified the lack of anti-air right now, and here comes the second wave. After all the harass with the Hellbats in the beginning, the Hellbat and Marauder push, it's so scary, it is so dangerous, and I just don't think that Curious has an answer.
I don't think so either. He's
lacking the
got
time.
Half the army supply of his opponent. He wants to spend all of his gas on the Mutalisks, but those are not going to be useful to him fast enough. Baneling hits here though could be decent, but the fact they're not. Good splits here, and he connected with way too many Marauders.
Yeah, the splits were really, really good, and now he can take down the space. He keeps the Hellbats a little bit back, splitting once again. That Baneling's trying to move in, and actually this time he got a couple of really good hits off here.
Yeah, you know, he killed most of the Hellbats, and now the Marauders are not too big of a threat with this many Zerglings. He's going to just have to pick up and leave here. Well, that one Hellbat on the edge is actually putting the numbers on those Zerglings, that's for sure.
No, but still, actually, like, I did not see Curious holding this so well, to be quite honest with you. But the second wave of Baneling that was streaming in, the splits of SC were not as good as the previous ones. He had all those Hellbats clump up, they go down, and the Hellbats in the second row, guarded by the Marauders, is what you need against the Zerglings. Yeah. And with the 1-1 upgrades that we mentioned earlier, he has the upgrade lead, and that showed in the last fight.
I think that he just didn't expect to see that second wave of Banelings. This is going to be a good catch here on the Hellbats. The second Hellbat may actually torch quite a few of those Zerglings. But as long as he keeps them running, they will regenerate. Picks off a few more Marines here, is going to get away. And the Mutalisks are going to be out here pretty soon. 10 of them, in fact, already on the way. 11. Starts +1 for Mutas as well. And SC wanted to take this moment to dominate the map, but now suddenly he doesn't have that dominant control of the map, and he doesn't have a third base, and he's losing units at his wall. He has to turn around.
Yeah. At this point, the position of Curious is actually great. What SC wanted to do is really hit the Simon with the Marauders and the Hellbats. And you know, it just takes so little damage to what he already did in the early game to take down this third base. But with him not being able to take it down, suddenly it is Curious. He has the edge thanks to the 1-1 upgrades. He would really love to go into +2/+2. It's just an issue of gas at this point. With the fourth base coming up, it's on the other hand definitely something where there's a timer on his. If Curious gets those gases up and starts +2/+2, he will maintain an upgrade lead over the Terran player, which is really rare for a Zerg player in this matchup.
You're absolutely correct. He's also just getting a good amount of Harvester kills here. Going to delay this Command Center. Well, he should. It looks like he was not paying attention. You can get some Medivacs and delay the Command Center maybe, so best of both worlds.
I don't think he really saw it. Like,
that was kind of weird. If he just looks at the minimap now, without looking at what it is, he might think it's completed.
Okay, that was definitely a mistake. I don't think he really saw it on the screen.
Yeah.
So, because if he would have seen this command center, there would be no question that a short detour would have taken it out immediately. I mean, he just started it. You take down the SCV, you focus the command center once, and either the Terran player immediately cancels or he loses his minerals.
You know, you just see that square on the minimap on the other hand, and you might think, oh, it's already done. So that may be what he's thinking. But, now he's got more metas, and he could still threaten it. He just has to be careful about how he controls his metas. And that third base for SC is perfect because it's closer to the Zerg base, so he can keep attacking and defending at the same time, which is exactly what we're seeing here.
You know, not taking out that third base might actually lead to Curious downfall in the late game. It could be. I mean, right now I really like the position for the Zerg player. Don't get me wrong. The Widowmine hit here was amazing, but he needs more than only one. But the problem really remaining that in the late game he might actually lose it if that third base really comes to play.
Oh, he's got trapped here with his Mutalisk. So many of them going down here. He's got basically nowhere left to run. That was a huge loss for him. Still maintaining army lead here. But that was a big blow to his harassment. Here comes this huge stream of Banelings. Needs to split like crazy.
Whoa, evacuating already with the Medivacs here, dropping individual Marines, but most of the SCVs are already gone. Another set of units already down. The army supply is exactly the same right now. The Harvester lead currently for the Zerg player, whereas the Terran is trying to utilize his mules to make up for that advantage. But you can see the income in the top right. 2,000 against 1,000 in favor of Curious. But he has to stop this army that is aiming once again over his third base.
Yeah, Curious's army is really weak right now. This is going to be the last army we see of him for a little while here. He needs to get good hits. His hits are decent, but his Mutalisk cannot fight against this many Marines if he commits.
We have more Banelings on the other hand, and these Banelings is exactly why ASC is a little bit cautious of approaching the ramp again. He knows that they are there. And keep in mind that the armor upgrade for those Mutalisks is also coming into play very soon. That will help him not only against the Widowmine, but also, of course, against those missile turrets.
Yeah, a little bit light on the Widowmines right now, SC, in fact, with 0 in play, making 2 additional ones, but we haven't really seen a Terran player go this light on Widowmines in Heart of the Swarm consistently and do well against the style that we're seeing from the Zerg, especially with that regen on the Mutalisk. So he needs to start adding more of those in, which he is doing. But right now, Curious still dominating the map. Going to go for another attack in the main base here.
And now he has the critical number of Mutalisks that he needs. With 25, you can really go for those turrets. He could fight those Marines if he wanted to, and that's exactly what he does. He has 1-1 upgrades for them already, and he's moving in, and this is great for him. Now he has the number 26. He's taking down supply depots, and just a couple of Marines, that's not enough to really endanger him here.
Yeah, he's not losing really anything. He's killing so many SCVs, and the depots especially, a lot of the called down depots as well.
And the biggest problem for SC now is he thought sending just a few Marines back to his main base would secure it once again, but that was not the case. So now he's in the spot where he doesn't really know what to do. He sees a Zerg player that is not afraid to actually fight his small Marine forces, and he's trying to save his main base. He's losing supply depots, he's losing SCVs. He's losing so much right now, and overall he's losing a lot of time.
Yeah, he's losing so much time. Curious has a 4th base. He's had it for a long time. Mainly run by here. Going to go for the depots, which...
He's going for the roll by, and he actually took down quite a lot here, the Marines, and those depots are going to die too.
He can almost fight the Marines with his mutas, still not quite. He's going to run away, especially with that Widowmine there. But he's just killed so much here, and I don't even think that's accurate. I think he's killed a lot more supply depots than that. That was...
Talking about killing a lot and about transitioning out of this, we have the Infestation Pit now currently going up for Curious, so he wants to go into the Hive Tech as well. I'm not quite sure if he got +2/+2 for his ground units just yet, to be honest with you. I did not see the upgrades on the tab earlier.
I don't think
He might have gotten them. No, he's still on 1-1.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit surprising to me, given that he's at 200 supply, that he doesn't try to invest into those. But he's going for the gas now, dumping it into the pathogen plants as well as the hive tech.
Here we go. He's got that Widowmine, needs to burrow it. It's burrowing very slowly. Bit too late, does not activate here. Good concave at the top of the ramp, but there's just way too much Zerg and not enough Terran.
29 Mutalisks sniping Medivac after Medivac. He's going for it with a Mutalisk, trying to chase those Marines down. He has a massive lead in army, 107 armies play against 40. SC is on the ropes.
GG!
StarTale taking the lead again.
And just great play here by Curious. Patient play. He held that Hellbat push so well, and I think part of it was the poor splitting from SC, but still, Curious is so patient there.
Yeah. The splitting, the first split was great, the second split not so much, but also the upgrades. The 1-1 against nothing, that was really what carried Curious into that fight. And when he held, he had a great position against his opponent. Really well played here. I like the C's harassment on the other hand, identifying that he's not up against any kind of anti-air early in the game. So he just used those medivacs, used the Hellbats, and if that Hellbat Marauder army takes down the third, I think then Curious is out of luck.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but a great hold. He never hesitated to make Banelings. And StarTale coach looking pretty happy with how things have progressed now. Curious being the right choice. And right now, Sora's sitting at home going, I hope they send a Frost player out.
You know, I'm actually really interested to see what exactly FXOpen is going to do for a very specific reason. Usually you would think the last two players are going to be Hurricane and Lenok. That's the two players that make the most sense. Lenok is still one of the heavy hitters. He's not that successful in the team league as he is in the individual league, and he's pretty much annoyed about that too. Hurricane, one of their most successful players. They are both not Terran players since they already used two Terrans. Yes. But Choya has said in the past that he wants to just diversify a little bit, that he wants to send out other players, that he wants to give other people a chance and just show that the lineup is really good. They have Seed that they could use, but he just lost.
Lucky too.
And that's why I'm really curious who's going to come out now. It's Seed. It's Seed, so either Lenok or Hurricane is not going to play today, and maybe we're going to see Lucky again. Yeah. Last time he did a lot for his team. He got them 2 wins, the win over Seoul, but for now it's Seed, who just lost in the first round of the Challenger League, and he wants to prove himself in the Team League now.
Looking forward to this one. Seed, a player that we don't always see in Team League, actually pretty rarely compared to the heavy hitters on FXOpen, even though he himself is a heavy hitter, just not so much in Team League. As you can see, in all of his Team League matches, he's 6-8, and that means he's only come out 14 times. Compared to a lot of players, that's not a lot.
Currently, StarTale is up 1 game. Keep in mind, guys, we are going into a short 5-minute break, and as soon as we are back, we have another Zerg match. Zerg versus Protoss. Curious going up against Seed. We'll see you guys in a few.